Imagine, deep inside your body right now, two fist-sized organs are working relentlessly, filtering blood at a staggering rate of 200 milliliters per minute. They act as a 24/7 non-stop filtration factory, processing about 180 liters of blood every single day to sift out the trash and retain the vital nutrients. These are your kidneys, undoubtedly the most hardworking cleaners in your entire biological system, silently maintaining your internal balance and overall health. But here is a startling truth. The added sugar you consume every single day is quietly placing an enormous, crushing burden on this highly energetic factory. So, what exactly would happen to your kidneys if you decided to completely eliminate all added sugars from your diet for 30 consecutive days starting today? The answer might completely revolutionize your understanding of sugar. In fact, within the very first 24 hours of stopping sugar, your kidneys start breathing a sigh of relief. To fully grasp this, you first need to understand exactly how sugar torments your kidneys. Every time you consume sweet, highly processed desserts or sugary drinks, the glucose concentration in your bloodstream skyrockets like a rocket launching into space. At this moment, your pancreas urgently releases a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as the ultimate blood sugar porter. Its primary mission is to transport glucose out of the bloodstream and deliver it safely into your hungry cells. But here's the problem. When blood sugar remains persistently high, your kidneys are forced to work massive amounts of overtime to handle the overwhelming molecular load. Inside your kidneys, there are microscopic filtration networks called glomeruli. Their pore sizes are precise down to the nanometer, specifically designed to screen blood. Under normal, healthy conditions, this intricate filtration network completely reabsorbs glucose, ensuring that absolutely none of it is lost through your urine. However, when your blood sugar is chronically elevated, these delicate filters become like sieves soaked in thick, sticky syrup, severely compromising their function. They begin to stiffen, thicken, and lose their natural elasticity, causing their vital filtration efficiency to gradually but inevitably decline over time. Research from Stanford University has revealed that a long-term high-sugar diet can cause the glomerular basement membrane to thicken by more than 30%. This is exactly like covering a highly sensitive precision instrument with a thick, suffocating layer of dust, severely hindering its operational capacity. Therefore, on the very first day you stop eating sugar, the immediate change your kidneys experience is a drastic reduction in extreme blood sugar fluctuations. Those renal tubular cells, which previously had to work at a frenzied pace to process excess sugar, can finally take a much-needed, well-deserved breather. Your body begins the crucial transition from burning readily available sugar to tapping into stored energy reserves, initiating a profound metabolic shift. The blood sugar curve flattens out, transitioning from a terrifying, unpredictable roller coaster ride to a smooth, incredibly stable highway journey. During this initial phase, you might feel a bit fatigued or even experience mild headaches. This is simply your brain adapting to a brand new energy supply model. But deep inside, your kidneys are already secretly celebrating. As you reach days 3 to 7, your body enters a highly critical transition period. The most significant changes during this stage occur within your metabolic system. Without a continuous influx of external sugar, your liver steps up to the plate. It begins breaking down stored glycogen and simultaneously activates a fascinating biological program known as gluconeogenesis, ensuring your survival. Think of this process as the body's highly efficient backup generator, capable of converting proteins and fats into essential glucose for vital organs. And for your hardworking kidneys, this means the glucose concentration in your blood becomes incredibly stable, completely free from those violent, damaging spikes. During this stage, your kidneys begin the intricate process of repairing those tiny, microscopic structures that were previously damaged by relentless sugar exposure. A research team at Harvard Medical School discovered that when blood sugar levels remain consistently stable within a normal range for just 1 week, the endothelial cells of the glomerulus will significantly reduce their secretion of inflammatory factors, initiating a profound healing process within the tissue. You can imagine these inflammatory factors as the body's internal alarm sirens. Whenever tissue is damaged, they are released in massive, overwhelming quantities. A high carbohydrate, high sugar environment keeps these biological alarms ringing constantly, but now, finally, the deafening sirens are starting to fall silent. At the same time, you will likely notice a very obvious physical change. Your frequency of visiting the bathroom might undergo a significant adjustment. This is not because your kidneys are malfunctioning. On the contrary, it is because your body no longer needs to excrete massive amounts of excess sugar through urine. In a high sugar diet state, when blood glucose exceeds the kidney's reabsorption threshold, the surplus sugar spills into the urine, dragging a lot of water with it. This physiological mechanism explains exactly why diabetic patients frequently experience extreme thirst and constantly need to urinate throughout the day. Now that this vicious dehydrating cycle has been successfully broken, your kidneys can regulate your body's water balance with much greater efficiency. As you enter days 8 to 14, a profound, deep-level metabolic revolution is quietly taking place inside the intricate structures of your kidneys. The most crucial transformation during this specific stage is the gradual but steady restoration of your body's natural insulin sensitivity. To truly understand this, you need to know that insulin is not just a simple blood sugar porter. It directly and heavily influences how your kidneys operate. When you consume a high sugar diet for a long time, your cells develop a stubborn resistance to insulin, completely ignoring its crucial biological signals. It is like the boy who cried wolf too many times. Eventually, your cells become entirely numb to insulin's desperate calls for glucose absorption. In response, your pancreas is forced to secrete even larger amounts of insulin just to accomplish the exact same basic metabolic tasks as before. This chronic state of elevated insulin levels creates a massive, life-threatening problem for your highly sensitive kidney filtration system. High insulin forces the kidneys to reabsorb significantly more sodium ions. And as a strict rule of biology, sodium always drags water along with it. This excessive retention of sodium and water inevitably leads to a dangerous increase in blood volume, which directly causes your blood pressure to spike. Research from Johns Hopkins University shows that a state of high insulin can actually increase the kidney's sodium reabsorption by an astonishing 20 to 30%. This is exactly like forcibly pumping extra, unnecessary fluid into a closed plumbing system. The internal pressure naturally and dangerously rises. Now that you have been completely sugar-free for 2 solid weeks, your chronically elevated insulin levels are finally beginning to steadily drop back to normal. Your kidneys are no longer biologically forced to hoard excessive amounts of sodium and water, allowing your blood pressure to naturally and safely decrease. During this phase, you might pleasantly discover that your body feels significantly lighter, and any stubborn swelling in your face and ankles has diminished. This is not merely due to the reduction of excess fluid retention. More importantly, your kidneys are fundamentally returning to their natural, healthy rhythm. The proximal tubule cells in your kidneys, those microscopic workers responsible for reclaiming vital nutrients, no longer have to process excessive sugar. They can finally refocus all their energy and resources on reabsorbing amino acids, vitamins, and minerals, the truly essential nutrients your body craves. As you progress to days 15 through 21, your kidneys enter a state of deep, comprehensive repair, initiating a profound biological restoration process. The most exciting and transformative changes during this specific period occur at the microscopic cellular level, deep within the kidney tissues. When your body is no longer relentlessly bombarded by constant sugar influxes, an incredible biological process known as autophagy begins to rapidly accelerate. Think of autophagy as an elite, highly specialized cellular cleanup crew. It identifies aging, damaged organelles, packages them up, and recycles them entirely. It meticulously dismantles these damaged components into basic raw materials, allowing the cell to rebuild and rejuvenate itself from the inside out. The 2006 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was actually awarded to the brilliant scientists who discovered and mapped this vital cellular autophagy mechanism. This prestigious recognition alone is more than enough to perfectly illustrate just how incredibly crucial this biological process is for human longevity. In the kidneys, autophagy is especially vital. Kidney cells must process massive quantities of metabolic waste and environmental toxins every single day. They are like frontline factory workers standing at the very beginning of a highly toxic production line, enduring immense, unrelenting oxidative stress. A chronic high-sugar environment actively suppresses this autophagy process, causing damaged mitochondria and fragmented proteins to dangerously accumulate. It is exactly like allowing highly toxic, hazardous waste to pile up endlessly on a factory floor until the entire operation grinds to a complete halt. A fascinating study from Japan discovered that after restricting sugar intake for just 3 weeks, the expression of the autophagy marker LC3 in kidney cells surged. It increased by nearly 50%, which clearly indicates that the cellular cleanup crew's efficiency has been massively and successfully upgraded. During this stage, your kidneys will also undergo another miraculous biological process known as mitochondrial biogenesis, creating brand new energy centers. Mitochondria are the microscopic power plants inside your cells solely responsible for producing ATP, which is the universal energy currency of life. A long-term high-sugar diet severely damages mitochondrial function, much like forcing a car engine to run constantly in the red zone until it breaks down. Now that the toxic sugar has completely retreated, your body begins manufacturing brand new, highly efficient mitochondria to replace the old, damaged ones. This profound regenerative process makes your kidney cells significantly more vibrant, resilient, and highly capable of resisting various future stresses. Have you ever experienced this phenomenon? After cutting out sugar for a while, you suddenly realize your energy levels are soaring and your skin is glowing. Let me know in the comments below about your personal experiences. I am genuinely curious to see how many of you have deeply felt these amazing changes. As you enter days 22 to 30, your kidneys have successfully completed a massive system-wide upgrade, functioning better than they have in years. The most critical transformation during this final phase is the significant, measurable improvement in your kidney's overall hemodynamics, or blood flow. To fully appreciate this, you must understand that the kidneys are among the most blood-rich organs in the entire human body, demanding massive circulation. Although they account for a mere 0.5% of your total body weight, they receive a staggering 20 to 25% of your heart's total blood output. This massive, continuous blood flow is absolutely essential to ensure that the kidneys can rapidly and efficiently filter toxins from your entire circulatory system. But a high-sugar diet viciously destroys this precise blood flow regulation system through a highly destructive chemical process known as glycation. Glycation essentially forces a rigid, inflexible shell onto your vascular endothelial cells, severely compromising their structural integrity and function. This destructive process is exactly like coating a soft, flexible rubber hose with a thick layer of concrete. The blood vessels become stiff and totally lose elasticity. Simultaneously, high sugar triggers the dangerous release of a substance called endothelin, which forces blood vessels to constrict and narrow significantly. Research from the prestigious Cleveland Clinic shows that long-term high-sugar consumers may have kidney blood flow that is 15 to 20% lower than normal. Now that you have been sugar-free for an entire month, these severe vascular damages are actively reversing and profound healing is taking place. Your vascular endothelial cells begin secreting much more nitric oxide, which acts as a powerful, completely natural vasodilator for your circulatory system. It is like giving your entire vascular network a deep, relaxing massage. The blood vessels become soft, supple, and highly elastic once again. As kidney blood flow dramatically increases, the overall filtration efficiency naturally and inevitably rises to optimal, healthy physiological levels. If you were to take a kidney function test right now, you would likely discover that your glomerular filtration rate has remarkably and clearly improved. By this stage, your kidneys also experience another subtle yet monumentally important change, a comprehensive system-wide drop in inflammation levels. Sugar is one of the primary, most explosive fuels for chronic inflammation. When you consume large amounts of it, your immune cells become hyperactive. They wildly release various pro-inflammatory cytokines, such as interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor, keeping your body in a constant state of alarm. A research team at Yale University discovered that after just 1 month of quitting sugar, subjects saw a massive drop in C-reactive protein. This crucial inflammatory marker decreased by an average of 32%, signaling a massive reduction in systemic biological stress across the body. For your kidneys, this immense reduction in inflammation means those hyperactive, aggressive immune cells can finally retreat from the battlefield. The delicate kidney tissues are no longer under constant, unrelenting attack, allowing the speed of cellular repair and tissue regeneration to accelerate wildly. It is as if a brutally war-torn battlefield has finally welcomed an era of lasting peace, and comprehensive reconstruction efforts can begin in earnest. But here is a critical, often overlooked point that most people simply do not know. The profound benefits of quitting sugar extend far beyond glucose control. More importantly, it entirely severs the deadly production chain of something called advanced glycation end products, commonly referred to as AGEs. AGEs are highly destructive compounds, formed when sugars bind with proteins or fats under high temperatures or within the body's internal environment. You can accurately visualize AGEs as toxic, biological rust. They aggressively attach to healthy tissues, making them hard, brittle, and completely dysfunctional. The kidneys are extraordinarily sensitive to AGEs because these toxic compounds rapidly deposit directly onto the delicate filtration membranes of the glomeruli. This is exactly like thick, hardened limescale accumulating inside a water pipe, continuously building up until the water flow is completely blocked off. Research from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology clearly demonstrates that AGE accumulation is a core mechanism driving diabetic kidney disease. When you eliminate added sugars, especially those hidden in highly processed, high-temperature cooked foods, you drastically cut down AGE production. Now, let us systematically dismantle a few incredibly common, yet highly dangerous myths regarding sugar consumption and overall kidney health. The first major myth is the widespread belief that only diagnosed diabetic patients need to worry about sugar damaging their sensitive kidney tissues. This is entirely false. Even if your fasting blood sugar is perfectly normal, a chronic high-sugar diet still inflicts severe, silent, microscopic damage. The second common myth is assuming that natural sugar found in whole fruits is just as biologically harmful and destructive as heavily processed added sugars. This requires careful distinction. While fruits do contain fructose, it is safely locked within a complex matrix of fiber, vitamins, and powerful antioxidants. This biological packaging acts like a slow-release capsule, ensuring the sugar is absorbed gradually, causing minimal impact on your blood glucose levels. The third dangerous myth is the belief that simply quitting sugar can miraculously cure all existing diagnosed forms of severe kidney disease. If you have a diagnosed kidney condition, quitting sugar is just one crucial part of a comprehensive treatment plan and cannot replace medical intervention. We must also clearly define the boundaries. Quitting sugar means eliminating added, refined sugars, absolutely not all essential carbohydrates. Your brain alone requires approximately 120 grams of glucose every single day just to maintain its basic, baseline cognitive and regulatory functions. Completely eliminating all carbohydrates from your diet can lead to severe health crises. You still desperately need complex carbs from whole grains and vegetables. Furthermore, if you simply replace sugar with massive quantities of fat or protein, you might still end up placing a heavy, dangerous burden on your kidneys. Excessive protein intake drastically increases the kidneys' filtration workload, forcing them to process and excrete significantly more nitrogenous waste products. Your kidneys' daily to-do list is astonishing. Filtering blood, regulating blood pressure, balancing electrolytes, and precisely maintaining acid-base harmony. This system is so incomprehensibly complex that modern medical science still cannot manufacture a true artificial organ capable of fully replacing it. Ultimately, quitting sugar is not a punishment, but a profound liberation for your overworked organs. Treat your body well, and it will reward you with decades of vitality.